Sunday night about prayer, and the elders and Will and I all got to talking, and uh, the elders really wanted to kind of go with this push on prayer for the next few weeks on Sunday morning, and that's kind of what led to that announcement earlier about the prayer service on Sunday. And so part of me wanted to go ahead and change this so that you guys didn't get this here and then hear about it on Sunday. But I kind of figured if God was leading me to say something about prayer here, and then this came up with that, probably be better to just stick with this because it means that it's something God really wants us to hear right now. So we're going to talk about why we pray tonight. Next week we'll talk about kind of some ways that we can pray. And then the next week, Paige will be in here with the girls, and then guys will go over to the college classroom and kind of go from there. So, moving on. All right. So, what are some reasons that you think that you guys can think of on why we pray?
To help people.
To help people. Okay.
Get closer to God.
Okay.
To tell God our worries.
Okay. What else? Why do we pray? Circles?
I did not say that.
Okay.
I did not. I did not say that.
All right. Why do we pray? To help people, to tell God our worries, to get closer. You guys think of anything else? I'm not
Like
saying.
if you want to okay.
Okay, confess, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and there's no really. I mean, I guess there are some wrong answers, but I mean, I'm not looking for a particular answer. I'm just wanting to see what you guys think as far as why we pray. Can you think of anything else?
Could be more confident.
Okay, yeah. Decision making. And I'm actually going to kind of splinter off that a little bit because I thought you were going to go a different direction with that. But confidence. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have ever struggled with confidence issues, but I have in the past, and that was a big thing for me. And going to God can really help you gain that confidence in yourself because you're not putting your value in yourself or in anybody else's opinion of you. You're putting your value of yourself attached to God's value of you. So, I'm going to put self/God confidence. Okay? Anything else? Good?
I mean, not like meditate, but it's kind of like a way of calming yourself.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
It's resting.
Yeah, resting. Yeah. How many of you guys have ever just been like super stressed out about something and you sat down with somebody in particular to calm down, to not be so anxious? Have you guys ever done that?
Yes.
Okay. It's the same thing. All right? And sometimes when you're sitting with that person, you might be experiencing God through that person. So if Kaysen feels when she's getting really anxious, if being with Paul or Zach, being with Zach for a little bit can help calm her down and just kind of make her feel less anxious about stuff, then that's a great opportunity for her to rest. And God might be working through Zach to bring that peace and rest to Kason. Okay? So, anything else? This is good. Good? Okay. All right. Yeah, these are good. Okay, I'm going to put two things up here, and I think they're going to really go along with what you guys have already said. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with this list. This list is great. I had to commune with God. As I was kind of going back to study for this lesson again, there's Richard Foster's book, Celebration of Discipline, which really goes into each of the spiritual disciplines. He put this in there. In prayer, real prayer, we begin to think God's thoughts after Him, to desire the things He desires, to love the things He loves, to will the things He wills. What do you guys think he means by that? To desire the things He desires, to love the things He loves, to will the things He wills. What do you think he means?
What?
I think what he's trying to get to is like the more we pray, the more we are like Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that thought's going to tie into this right here, that you're seeking change, but it's not just a matter of, if I'm praying, if I know that Kobe's doing something that he shouldn't be doing, and I'm praying for him, I'm not just praying change on Kobe. I'm praying the prayer changes me too, because it's expressing my concern for Kobe. It's helping me develop a heart like God's that has a concern and care for others. Okay? So how might prayer change our thoughts and desires and what we love? How might prayer do that?
God might send us in a different direction.
Okay, yeah. He might send you in a different direction. Case in point, I was going to go be a graphic designer when I was in high school. And I was praying, and God kept saying, nope, you're not going to go into graphic design. And I fought it, and finally, when He showed me that there was absolutely no way I belonged in graphic design full time, I prayed, and
You want to be a graphic designer?
yeah.
Wait, isn't that
No,
what
I think
happened?
it's not.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's very ironic. But yeah, so yeah, God made it clear that that's not what He had in mind for me, and so He changed my direction for me. He made that clear. So, how else might prayer change our thoughts and desires?
It could change how we react to different situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you might have somebody that you don't particularly like at school, and your prayer is going to change the way that you respond to that person, isn't it? Okay. So, like we just said, real prayer seeks change in ourselves and in the world. Matthew 6:10, when Jesus is kind of teaching His disciples how to pray, He says, "Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done." Okay. Yes. And I think that's an important thing to remember, though, is that particular phrase of on earth as it is in heaven, because when we typically think of heaven and earth, what do we think of? Where do we think heaven is?
The sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There's heaven, and then we've got earth down here, right?
Yeah.
And the whole idea, especially with this prayer, is to bring God's will and bring heaven to earth. That's why Jesus is constantly praying about the kingdom of heaven. It's this idea that the kingdom of heaven, that God's kingdom is here on earth. Okay? How many of you guys have heard that phrase when you're praying of, oh, if it's your will, God, then let this happen, or whatever else? Okay. Most of us? Alright. So, when do we use that phrase usually?
When we want something to happen, but we're giving it over to God.
Okay.
Times of trouble.
Times of trouble. Okay. Like what?
Like what times of trouble?
Yeah. Like, give me some examples of some times of trouble that you might say, God, if it's your will.
I don't know, maybe if it's you're making a decision between two things, or like maybe if there's, I don't know. That's nice.
We got one more. Too.
When somebody's sick.
Okay.
Patient's sick.
Right. Alright. Okay. Huh? Okay, natural disasters, right? Like, how might you pray for somebody regarding a natural disaster? What's something you might pray for?
That they don't die.
Okay.
But this city will be safe.
And that they stay safe?
That they're like stuff.
Stays there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Doesn't go flying.
Well, you know, it's a natural disaster, you have no control over it, so you ask God for it.
Okay, so let me ask this. Does God want the best for us, or does God want the worst for us?
Yes.
Best.
All right. He talks about that in you know how we make requests of God. You know, if he gives the example of if people will give their children you know bad things or if people won't give their children bad things. So like if Javen was my son and he asked me for you know a gift and I gave him a snake. Okay. If Javen asked for, you know, a gift, like a new PS4 or whatever, and I gave him a snake instead, would that be kind?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
All right. And so God, Jesus' point when he's talking in that parable is the idea of, look, if you're not even going to do that to your children, why would I do that? Okay? Don't expect the worst out of me. And so it's this idea that God naturally wants the best for us. Okay? And so when does Jesus say in the prayer, you know, if it's your will? No. Because God's will is going to be God's will, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How often does God change his mind in the Bible?
Not many.
No, he does change his mind.
But Abraham.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's Abraham and then there's Moses, right?
Moses at least.
Yeah. I can only recall one, but okay. So yeah, God, you don't see God change his mind a whole lot in the text. Okay? And so God's will is going to be God's will. So just pray. You don't have to add the tag of if it's your will. It's something that we've added into our prayers in the last 100 years or so. If you're praying for the good of somebody and it comes about, then that was part of God's will. God's answering and listening to your prayer. If you're praying for somebody and that does not come about, then obviously God had something better in mind. Okay? So, we don't really have to say if it's your will. It's kind of understood. God's will is going to reign. So,
That's.
future reference. Let's keep the stuff in our hands.
Wait, did you make it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, then that's all.
Okay. So, I want to show you guys a video real quick on prayer before we head out.
Asking for nothing but got everything, had everything to hide but hid nothing, said not a word but spoke endlessly, never.
Hang on. It started way. Okay.
It's really good.
How many times have you prayed in your life? Now, I'm not asking how many lists you've made, or how many religious instructions you've obeyed, or how many games of guilty Christian you've played, or how many public speeches you've relayed, or how many recitations you've portrayed. I'm asking, how many times have you prayed? How many times have you cried, whimpered, sighed, whispered, tried to listen, died and risen? How many times have you approached God honestly, asking for nothing but got everything, had everything to hide but hid nothing, said not a word but spoke endlessly, never opened your eyes but saw eternity? How many times have you reached inside yourself so deeply that you pulled out something you didn't recognize? How many times have you approached your Maker, not as who you want to be, not as who you wish you were, not as who you think you are, not as who you ought to be, but just as you are, with all the dirt that covered you when God first fell in love with you? How many times have you run to your lover for passion, your provider for rations, your father for lessons, your instructor for lashings? Oh, how many times have you prayed? For your God's ear it waits for one drop of confession, one honest expression, one wild connection. Don't approach the living God with dead prayers, but come to Him when your lifeless prayers are dead and the Spirit on your tongue is dripping with life. Then every syllable you speak will be a divine trade. Your mouth will leak with the flood of praise that you've made. Then the number you seek will be far too high to be weighed, and you'll never be able to answer the question, how many times have you prayed?
That guy went to school with me.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, he was in my club for a little while.
What?
Yeah,
Did you know him?
yeah.
You like have him
You
come
knew
visit.
him.
He's good. Okay, so
Hey,
I'm
what
glad
did you
that-
just say?
Yeah, I just said keep it. Sit down. Sit.
No.
Sit. Sit.
You're the
Sit.
definition of
Hudson,
savage.
sit. Just
Sitting.
sit. I can wait. Okay.
Just do it.
All right.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
Okay. All
I
right.
noticed it before.
All right. So, was there anything in particular in that video that caught your guys' attention?
That we're
Yeah,
sinners.
how many times I've said a couple times.
Okay.
Yeesh.
That's great.
He's like, that's great.
All right.
How many times? It just like ringing my head.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. It's
Well,
he wants that to repeat in your head.
it is, like she's saying, if you're thinking in my head, it's thinking, how many times have you actually prayed? Not just like, almost like, where you just pray, like in church. Like when you just pray in church, but like, do it because you are needing something, or you're, I have the words in my head and I
I
can't
think
say
you're
it.
trying to say like not just going through the motions, but like
Mhm.
having a meaningful prayer.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
I love this line in the poem. How many games of Guilty Christian have you played? You guys can watch this out on YouTube. He's got all the stuff out there as well. I'll put a link. I'll put the video in the band and on Facebook and all that. But it's a really thought-provoking video. And the more you watch it, I've watched it dozens of times at this point, and I still am reminded of the power of that poem, because it really is asking this question of, like you said, are we doing a meaningful prayer? Are we doing something that actually is a connection, an attempt at connecting to communicate with God, or are we just going through the motions?
I think you just said something like that. Because it just came out. We used to joke about that in Delaware because we always had lights that wouldn't turn on until like when somebody said something. And they say, "You just said something right."
Oh, I didn't notice the light.
Sorry.
I'm not a detail person. So, alright, so for tonight, what I want you guys to remember is this, is that prayer should be something we desire because it's time spent with God and time for God to change our heart to His. Alright? Don't just look at it as something of, well, I have to do this. This is something we get to do. This is something where it's the perfect opportunity to put aside the things of this world that exist in your heart, in your mind, in your flesh, and to allow God to take control. Alright? Sunday, may not have evening worship. My guess is going to be that we're going to be moving that over here on Sunday. If we do go to Willow Bend, I'd like to have you guys out there at 3:30 so that we can go ahead and get the chairs and tables and such set up. If we end up staying here, just come at 5 o'clock and we'll just kind of go from there. Next week, we've got Labor Day weekend, so there's no evening youth activity. There will be singing at the nursing home though. So what we might do is go to the nursing home, come back over here, just hang out and chill until time for worship. Also, one thing, Carlsbad. So I had talked to you guys before about, I was trying to see about the possibility of us going to the Carlsbad Youth Rally, but doing it over the weekend. So we'd head out there Friday, stay with some church family members out there. Bruce has actually busted up his feet pretty good this summer. And so he's still in recovery mode and hasn't been able to work out any of those details. So we're just going to go over Friday or Saturday at this point. It takes 2 hours to get out there? 3? Those of you guys that are going?
I thought it was, wait, is this an all weekend? Is it?
It's not now. It's just a Saturday right now.
Sorry, I think it's 3.
Is it 3? Okay. So we'll probably.
I think it's more.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Well, you got phones. Look it up. Okay. So probably what we're gonna do is we'll probably leave at 8 a.m. from the building, go out to Carlsbad. We'll do some stuff out there. I don't think the rally actually starts until 4. Okay. And then as soon as the rally's over, we're gonna start booking it back over here. At least this time we don't have to worry about a time change.
Yay!
It's not 3.
3? Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we went to TCC, so yeah.
We went forward an hour and then came back.
All right.
I thought it was
That is
Hey, what was the date on that?
the 16th. November,
September?
September 16th, yeah. September 23rd, somebody else is going to be in here teaching, I'm going to be out. Okay? So,
Isn't that Saturday anyways?
Yeah, it is.
24th, September 24th, that's right. Okay. That's it for tonight, guys. Love you. Have a good week at school.
Even with the highway.
Good one.
still.
What?
Of the